Hello, another stream today. I barely ever do that, right? Um, we need to refactor some things in our code, but before that, I want to show what I've been cooking up. Now, I didn't make this myself. This was a $5 commission. $5, by the way. So we're writing the polling bot, and the current logos kind of suck. I mean, it's not bad by any means, but it's uninspired, right? Like, let's just take a look at it real quick. If we go into Discord, if I can find it, like that, there it is. Yeah, this is the current logo, and that's like an E, everyone, and then an envelope that I found on Vector, on like Google Images or something, something like that. It works, but it's not the best. So, decided that I'd pitch in a little bit. I think it was like $7.50 in total about, and get something like, useful. I don't even know if I can open it. I'll be honest. I don't I don't know. Does photos count as a window? I don't see it. Hold on. I'll find it. Photos, you gotta be in here somewhere. There it is. Maybe. Does that... Hello? Photos? Okay, photos does not like to work, I see. That's a big shame, because the thing I'm trying to show is a photo, but if the Photos app does not show up on OBS, then I guess I'll die. I don't know. Man, what is it doing? Wait. What was that? No, that just okay, so it just doesn't even exist. All right. Sure. All right. We're going to do a little bit of workarounds. Let's instead open open File Explorer, I guess? I don't... Why does the Photos app not show up? It's so dumb. Alright, hold on. Sorry. File Explorer. Work. There it is. Wow, look at that. So this is kind of the new draft for the logo. Ballot box, EV, it's a lot more inspired than the last one. Like, a lot more. Like, a huge amount more. So this is gonna be the plan once the bot updates. I probably will switch it to this logo or some derivative of this, I just, I think it looks nice, right? It looks better, at least. At the very, very least, right? So that'll be the new logo. With some changes, but, I'll put that up when we update the bot fully. But besides that, let me change my view in File Explorer back to large icons, because I don't know how extra large icons would be useful in any capacity whatsoever. But, yeah. Like, why would you ever have to look at a thumbnail that close up? I have no clue. But, yeah, that was a little rant. Let's look at our code, because I noticed a few issues. Of course, there's issues. There's always issues. I'll be the first to admit, my code breaks sometimes. I know, right? It's crazy. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know why I'm feeling so, like, extra today, but yeah. Whatever. So, what's going on here is that we have a time loop, and that sends the poll, and it's all good and dandy, but we completely disregarded the fact that setup also does that. Setup, has to set up and it has to send the poll. That's new. And we actually did that first before we did the time loop. And setup, if you look, it's a little labeled, but like resend poll, it'll set the new poll. And when it sets the new poll, it takes it from poll handler. It's a bop, by the way. If it's too loud, by the way, kindly notify me. But I think it might be a fine volume. I mean, you can at least have it on in the background if you want. But the issue is that I completely forgot we had a poll handler. And we even use the poll handler. Like, kind of. We use it here to get the poll embed. But we don't use it, like, for anything else. Like, we're kind of... we're only using it for this poll embed and poll results. But we don't use it at all for the send poll method, which is right here. Send poll method gets the current poll and then it sends the message and then it adds reactions. Obviously, this is like super duper bare bones and it's like, yo, what in the world happened here? But this is like the first iteration. Our most recent iteration is this, where it double checks everything. It checks if the poll message sent correctly. If it didn't, then it sends an error. If it sets an error, and then blah, 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 blah. But otherwise, like, we just kind of have useless code. Like, I want to use this as opposed to poll using this dumb, weird thing. Or not poll, but setup and poll handler using this. So we have to code the bot to do that, right? So we need to refactor the code. Wow, that's the title of the stream. That's crazy. So we kind of need to copy and paste and then just figure out what we need and do that, right? So I think instead of, doing the setup thing first, we should do poll handler first, because that's like the bottom, that's the top level thing, or the bottom level. I don't know, whatever direction you're looking at it from, I guess. So we just need to rewrite this. So let's just comment it out and just completely just redo the entire thing. So right now we're using get poll embed, we're using get poll results. That's all good and dandy. I don't know why this is down here. I can just go right there. And then we should have the get poll, or what was it? Send poll. What am I doing? So we need to send the poll correctly. And to do that, we supposedly need a channel and a server ID. Supposedly. I don't know if we actually need that. One thing I am noticing is that, like, it doesn't really get database. I guess it does. It's weird. It's kind of really weird. So the get current poll, we just need to relook at this entire poll handler and make sure everything works. I know the get embed works because we've been doing that. That's the /poll add and /poll view command. By the way, would you rather has been added. I did that in my free time, and multiple choice, kind of the same as a normal poll, but I actually did some stuff in the reaction thing, which is here. Actually did some reaction stuff. So if the users voted and it's a multiple choice, it'll just add that vote. instead of just, you know, returning and not letting the user vote again. But we don't care about that. That's of course me going on another rant. We need to look at our send pull function and how we can use this in both setup and time loop. Because if we're using it only in time, then I mean, it's just a one-time function. It's literally pointless. But we need to make sure that it's useful in setup and in time loop. So how do we do that? Well, what does setup do? Setup resends the pull, but it also sends the first pull. When it sends the first pull, it does the new server data stuff. It also does the channel and message ID updating, which I don't think we're gonna need if we're using send pull, because it should do that no matter what, right? So kind of don't need that. So I think the first thing we need to do is copy and paste something. Copy and paste something. What do we copy and paste? This is the send pull area, but we're not going to have the current hour or any of that in send pull because setup doesn't care about that. So we're not going to include this. Are we going to include this, the if statement? No. So supposedly we just have to include this. So let's copy and paste that and see what we need. Indentation always screws up. I don't know why it's trying to do that, but you know. Yes. So send pull. We have right here, channel and server ID are not used whatsoever, by the way. So we need to, you know, get on that, but it is called pull channel here. And then let's go through everything. So right now we let role ping equal server data. Well, obviously we're going to need the server data. We're going to have to grab that. Now, do we want to grab it in here, or do we want the person, or do we want the function using it to grab it? In order to answer that question, we need to ask, like, is it already grabbed, by the way? So at this point, is all servers already grabbed? Well, yes, we already have the poll data right here. So in that case, we would want it as an argument. In setup, would we want it as an argument? Well, server data doesn't exist yet. What it's doing right now is it's sending the poll and then it's creating the server data. So that it doesn't seem like that would work, right? But if it needs server data, then I think we just have to make a bare bones channel ID stuff, right? So we need to create this, but without the message ID, basically. And then we want to pass that in the poll message. If we're resending the poll, then obviously we are already going to have that data, because it should just simply be grabbed already. It should be server data. We have it no matter what, if it exists. So the setup command always has the server data if it exists. If it doesn't exist, then we should make it before we send the poll, basically. So we don't need to grab anything within our poll handler. We just need server data. So server data. Then what else do we need? channel? I mean, yeah. No, I mean, we could only just do server data and just assume the channel that's in the database at that moment is the one we want to send it to. So in the case of resetting up a channel, we need to change the database before we set the poll, which would be 2 database changes, but you know what, I don't know, we can figure out optimizing that after we get everything working, because honestly right at the moment I just removed all the caching. If you remember last time, caching was an issue because we had no freaking clue what to do with it, these 2 functions. So I just removed it. We don't have caching anymore at the moment. We're just grabbing from the database every time, which will be slower, but I don't know how much slower it will be, because even though it might use a ton of disk, like it's a VPS, they have dedicated WAM, dedicated disk space in it. That should be just usable. So I don't know if that'll be an issue. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make a cache at some point, but at this moment we don't need it. So, and we could also do the way that I think the bot's doing currently, is where it saves every 5 minutes instead of saving every single change. Instead, just, you know, save data in like a memory thing, and it's like, oh yeah, save it to the disk just in case we die. That's what it does right now. But I mean, that is 5 minutes of data lost. So, yeah. But then again, bot never goes down. I don't think the bot's gone down for freaking months now. Ever since I switched it to a VPS, it's been good. I haven't had to touch that thing for ages, man. It is great. Best $3 of my life. $3 a month, by the way. If you want to support that, got a Ko-Fi link in the about section. But yeah, $3 a month is pretty damn good for running a bot 24/7, and it's not even using that much space. It's just a chat bot, so it doesn't use that much at the moment, at least. So what are we doing here? Well, we have the server data. Server data.role ID, that should all be the same. Role ID, is server data usually capitalized? No, I don't think. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of polls. Polls have capitalized arguments. I don't remember why I did that, but that's the thing. Everything else doesn't. So, you know, maybe I'll change that at some point. But till then, server data. Instead of this, we want server data. Cool. So now we are trying let poll message. So we're getting the role ping, which we need to send the message. I was about to say, like, maybe we could just put this afterwards, but no, we're sending the message right here. So if it's able to send the message, then it'll turn into a message and it'll be cool and dandy and whatnot. Otherwise, it'll catch it and it'll update to a 1. And because that indicates that there was a send messages error, send messages permission denied. That might be good too. Put it in right there. Like that. Indent, error sending is kind of pointless at the moment. So send pull happens right there. So we're sending the pull. If it doesn't work, that means the send messages was denied, and we can't actually do anything about that because the bot can't tell anyone anything. It's just gonna have to be like a find it out yourself sort of thing, because you can't do anything if you don't have send messages permission, because you can't tell anyone in that channel, and you can't do anything without interactions in other channels, so you're kind of screwed. But that is just, human error. So it's not that big of a deal that it's a thing that it can't notify the user of, except through the help command. It does notify through there. So if there is an issue, it will update it, and return, I guess. I mean, we could just return and then not need this pull message thing. And then drop that down. So send the pull, or try to send pull. And then afterwards, we update server data with that. So server data, the server ID works, message ID is the pull message ID. It'll only update that. Everything else will stay the same. So it's literally just changing message ID. And then it'll add the reactions. It'll go through the pull queue, pull number, which it doesn't have in here, which is a fair point. Send pull. What does get current pull do? Get current pull gets current pull number, gets the pull row, gets the current pull. So we're gonna need the current pull. Let's grab that real quick. So roll ping. Roll ping's kind of like an inside there sort of thing. It's not really needed to be out here. Let pull table. Let current pull, I don't know. Let current pull equal get current pull. So that's going to call itself. That's why it's outside of here, by the way. If it's inside here, I don't think there's a super duper easy way to do it. Or it might just be like this dot whatever, but I don't really want to do that. So yeah. But we get current pull. That will grab all of that. I think this is a function because it's used in other places. We could double check just so to make sure we don't have to refactor anywhere else. Get current pull is not used there. Not used there, there. Pull does use it. It uses it when it removes the pull, apparently. Does it? Let current pull equal get the current pull. Let embed equal get pull results. Await channel send. Oh, that was our test command. I forgot. Okay. I forgot that we use remove as a test command thing. This is just basically code that we did to double check that pull results works. It's not actually the remove command, which we also don't have switch either, but that's freaking easy. Like really easy compared to everything else. Whew. But yeah, let's label that, I guess. I mean, we don't need this at the moment. We could just remove it now. Yeah, let's just remove it for now. And then return. Cool. So get current pull isn't really used anywhere else, I don't think. We're gonna keep it like that for now, but we might end up removing it later because we might only be using this literally for this function. Then it's pointless to have as its own function. So we need to change current poll. Yeah, current poll is not used at the moment. We need to replace all of the poll queue poll numbers with that. Poll queue poll number. Is that the only way, or the only place it was added? No. Poll queue poll number. Okay, so those two spots. And then that should be it. So when you send the poll, gets the current poll, tries to send it. If it can't send it, then it will update the database with an error message ID and return. Otherwise, it will update it with the poll message ID. Then it'll add the reactions. It'll react with each one, and if it can't react, then it will edit the message and then break. So basically, if send messages doesn't work, it'll log that. If reaction messages doesn't work, it'll actually be able to say that because it already sent the message. We can actually tell the people that something went wrong. The only other problem would be view channel permissions. It might be a view channel permissions thing, which I kind of forgot about. View channel. Setup, I think, uses that. View channel, send messages, and add reactions. These are the three things that the bot needs. It's really simple. That's the only three things you need to give the bot permissions for in one singular channel. So that does remind me. So we have the help command, but it only says that there's an issue with the send messages permission. Please enable the send messages permission for everyone votes. It might be the view channel permission as well. So should we identify that? I think we should, right? In setup, we do that by getting the channel, seeing what permissions for guild.me. So I mean, we could just do the same exact thing. Or we could go the easy route like everyone else does and just says, oh, this could be a problem, or this could be a problem, or it's like, oh, okay. For now though, we'll just change it to send messages and view channel. So please enable the view channel and send messages permission for everyone votes, and use the /setup command to resend the poll. Save that. Poll handler. This should all be good. I think this is usable in everything else. So we need to start, like putting it into use. So to do that, save. Go into time loop. Error sending. Poll message. So if a poll message was not sent in the current hour, 0, and there was an error sending, it's set to 0. So how would we know? Well, let's change it to what we got right now. Poll handler, do we have it? Yeah. Poll handler dot send poll server data, which would be all servers I. Send poll could return something in order for us to tell if there is an error sending. Do we need to? Do we need to know that there was an error sending or not? Kind of, because the poll handler changes the database by itself. It doesn't change our data, so I guess error sending equals pull handler. And then pull handler will return false if there was an error sending. Otherwise, we will return true. So, if it fails to send, false. If it sends properly, true. And that will tell us if it sent or not. Let pull message, do we even use that? If not, pull message. If not pull message, we need to figure out what this is trying to say again. So right now we basically just have this. Let error sending, pull message doesn't exist. What this is trying to do is it's trying to set anything that didn't send right now to 0. So if all servers dot pull offset equals current hour, it sends it. Otherwise, it should set it to 0. Right? Wait. Okay, let's keep looking at this. So if the current hour equals 0, or pull offsets the current thing, this will run. This will fetch the pull channel, which I don't know why it defines it out here. That's kind of weird. Let pull channel, we don't need it up here. So get the pull channel, then the pull results if it's if we're getting a new pull. Otherwise, send the pull. Or not otherwise, but if it's the current hour is 0, then do that. And if the pull offset equals the current hour, which it's usually 0, then we will send the pull and see if it sent. If it doesn't equal the pull offset, aka this fired. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand this. So current hour equals 0 or this. So either one of these or both of these will fire during the loop every hour. Either one of these, if it, gets through here. So if this didn't fire during, or if this didn't fire, then that means the pull offset. It sends the pull. Why is this so confusing? Shouldn't it just set it to 0 if the pull offset doesn't equal 0? Right? I think so. So if current hour equals 0 or the pull offset equals the current hour, go through this. This is probably just a weird way to do it. Why is it like this? Why do we need to check if it's if blah 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 blah? Oh, I think because we fetch the pull channel either way. That's what I was trying to do, but that's kind of dumb. Do we even use pull channel down? We don't even use pull channel. Okay. Yeah. Don't really need that. Oh wait, but then in pull handler, does it ever... Pull channel doesn't exist. Okay, that's good to know. Let poll channel equal something. Is it already fetched in setup and in time loop? It is in time loop, but is it in the setup? Should be channel.id. It should always be fetched. So we can actually just add it as a option. Server data, poll channel. And to put that into here, send poll, server data, poll channel. So we do actually use it twice. Which is a shame. Get poll embed, get poll results, get current poll, then the send poll. Okay, so this might also be repeated code, but we'll figure that out a little later. So if the current hour equals 0, should we just fetch the poll channel anyways? Nah, no, let's keep it like it is. I think I know why I did this, because I don't want to fetch the poll channel twice. Because that kind of sucks. So poll channel equals this. If the current hour equals 0, send the poll results. And then we need to know if we send the poll. If we do, it sends, and then it does whatever else. Otherwise, else, then we do this? Right? So if it's the current hour equals 0, and basically the poll offset does not equal 0, because then this one never even fire, then we'll update it to 0. So I think that should just work, right? Just get rid of that. Boom, boom. And we can label these as well. So this is actually the send poll. This, however, is the poll sends later. Basically, and then we don't even need error sending, so poll blah blah blah, we don't need that, we don't need that, then we also don't need poll handler returning anything. Just remove the complexity because it's pointless to have. And boom. So send the poll results, and then it'll check if it should also send the poll. If it doesn't send the poll with the poll results, then it will set to 0, which effectively means it tells help that, oh, the server is still waiting for a poll to be sent, so we're just gonna wait a hot minute. Yeah, so that works. That works. We never know if it works, but whatever. Should work. You know, everything always works. Complete opposite of what I said at the beginning of the stream, but you know, whatever. Let's see. So we got that in here. Time loop now uses send poll. We just need the setup to use send poll properly now. So there's a few assumptions that send poll does right now. One of them being that the channel ID and the server ID and poll offset already exist, and the server data already exists. So we need to create it before we set a new poll. Set new poll. It's different than set up current channel. Set up current channel. What does set up current channel do? Yeah, so set up current channel checks all the permissions, sends an error if the permissions are incorrect, disables the buttons, which actually always has, which is weird. And then it sets the new poll. If it can't, then it does that. Which is weird. Interaction.reply. It's weird because if we check, it should already have them. That's why I made this message where it's like, it seems as though I was denied send message permissions in a split-second time frame. So somehow it changed from these lines of code. It did this, but then it got changed in between. Anyway, setup's kind of confusing now. I don't know. I mean, it always been kind of confusing. Look how many things there are in here. So the setup command checks if they have managed server permissions. If server data exists, they go through this, they get these buttons, and then it waits for a button response. They can cancel it, they can resend it, or they can set up a different channel. So, what we need to do is that we need to, if we're doing the send poll thing, we need to double check. Gosh, why is my mind just randomly blinking? What are we doing again? Yeah, this needs to set new poll and needs to set up the data before we actually put that in. So let server data equal, and let's just create some server data. We have a server ID, channel ID, no message ID, and a poll offset. I think, right? Channel ID, message ID. Creates the row if it doesn't exist, otherwise it updates the row. Okay, so that should work. So we have the server data. When we send the poll, we want to send the server data first and then the channel second. And then it should put it in the database. So we want to let poll message equal that, but it already updates it. The send poll updates the database. So we actually just need to do this before this, just all together. So let's just throw this in here. Throw that away. Put this away because we don't actually need that. Indent this properly. Remove this. So it sets up it sets up server data. If it's a new server, it creates the stuff that it needs. If it isn't, then it will just update the data with the channel ID. And then it will send the new poll. And yeah, set new poll will now no longer ever error. Reason being, send poll has the try and catches. So this will prevent erroring here. This will prevent erroring here. So this should never error, except, you know, if the database errors, but that'd be catastrophic. We're gonna assume that doesn't happen. Yeah, so we remove... No, this is the wrong thing. We await send pull. And the problem with this is that it now doesn't say. Maybe we do need to return if it's true or false now. Because we can't tell if it's errored or not. Let's find set new poll. Let's only use 2 spots. We have poll send when we're resending a poll. Set new poll. Okay. Send permission was denied. Sender viewer send. Not sender view, that's kind of weird. Viewer send messages permission denied. And then in here, I guess we should return false. Return true. Because setup uses that. So, set new poll. You want to return the await of send poll. What that will do is it will return false or true if it went through. If it didn't, if it returns false, it will... Well, it won't error anymore, so you have to let it equal. Or I guess, no, it'd just be if not set new poll. So if it returns false, that means it errored, then we need to send this message. Otherwise, it should work. This is in setup current channel. Yeah. And then we need to do it down here as well. So if not set new poll. Not set new poll interaction.client, blah, 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 blah. Wait, so what is this doing? Let's set new poll use for arguments. Channel and new server. Oh, okay. So, if not set new poll, then send that error. And that should make things better. Things should work now. Oh, and this song. Yeah, this song, no one's probably ever gonna hear this, but may or may not use it for something. Just a heads up. So what else? Is there anywhere else that like does that? Set up current channel. Where's that used? Set up current channel. True. Okay. I think it all works now, so it should be good to go. Set up current channel basically just checks all of this first, and then it does this, and then oh, does it? I think it does. Checks the permissions, disables the messages buttons in the original setup thing, and then it sends the new poll. Right? I think so. I think it should work. So that's all good and dandy now. We just refactored our code to use poll handler effectively. So what we did is we removed a lot of complexity right here. All of that complexity now goes straight into poll handler instead, which is great. So send poll results, poll sends later. Usually if it's an if, we say check to send poll. check if... Well, what were we using earlier? What were we modifying earlier? I forget. It was the help command, right? Check if. Usually we do check if it's an if statement, because it's a little easier to read. So check whether to send pull. Check whether to send results. Otherwise, note that it hasn't been sent. Note that the poll hasn't been sent. That makes it a lot easier to read. And here we can also add a check. So check if server needs poll or results. Indent that a little bit, make it look nice. And, you know, honestly, one thing I wanted to change as well is instead of having backup polls, what if we just recycled polls? Because there's a frick ton of polls. We could just reuse them after they get old after a certain point, because some of the early polls, like is water wet, that only had like 5-10 votes or something. So we could definitely like reuse those polls if it's ever in a pinch like that, right? I think it would be interesting, at least. I have to consider that at some point. But like maybe we can have a backup poll thing. Instead of it being on ID 1, it'd be ID 2. Assuming a server ID isn't 2, that would be... Look, if Discord's main super duper crazy server ID 1 adds with the bot, everything's gonna die. Basically, is what I'm saying. But I'm gonna assume that doesn't happen. That'd really suck if it did. I don't know what Snowflake ID 1 is. I wonder what it is. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to theorize because I can't really look that stuff up. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the refactoring done. We can save that. And one thing I wanted to try was inviting and setting up the bot on a completely new server, which I kind of need to figure out how to re-invite the bot, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. Like, I don't know why it's so difficult to invite a bot. let me go into my Discord developer application information and see what I can do here. Great two-factor authentication. All right, Discord. Okay. Let's open up whatever. What app is it? Authy, I think. Auth. Where in the... There it is. Okay, jeez. Okay. Boom, log in. Cool. And this sends you to a browser version of Discord, which is weird. I was trying to get into the applications thing. Thank you, but, you know, whatever. Okay. Cool. I need to go to the developer thing. I don't really want to show the screen just in case. I don't think anything actually shows, like, that's, you know, bad, but just in case, just leave it like this. Message content intent. Oh yeah. Let's see. Public bot. It's not public. I just need the invite. Just give me an invite and I'll be fine. Default authorization link. Oh my god. Oh, it's in a different URL now? Fantastic. Bot? It's bot, right? And then it's also... where's slash commands? You know what? Screw it, I'll show it. Opera. Opera. There we go. You can also see the lo-fi music in the background. Slash commands. I thought it was somewhere down here on the bottom left, but maybe I'm crazy. I think application.commands, maybe? Why is my mouse buffering now? Oh, dear lord. Let me check task manager. Is Opera doing that? No. Wait, yeah. Oh my god. Opera, calm down. Why is Opera using so much CPU? I literally only just have this open. This isn't a public bot, so you won't actually be able to steal this invite, but... Jeez. Copy. Alright. Should be fine. Look at my cool cat. Not my cat. Okay. And then we can finally invite it. Create commands in the server. That should work. Switch off of that. I will invite it to my super duper secret server, which is actually just called Cicadia's Corner. Do that. Cool. So, should now have it in the server. Now I just need to go to that server. Go to polling corner. Anything? Okay, that should work. So, we got Discord. This is my super duper secret server. The art channel is actually where the bot pulls all of its art stuff from. The Sudakia server. This stuff. It's all pulled from here. So if you ever use the art command, you're going to see this. Which is pretty darn cool. Look at all that. Wow, look at all those Pikachus. There are an exorbitant amount of Pikachus in here. It's great, right? Okay, anyways. Polling corner. Let me start the bot. Let's see if we actually get any errors. Just... I don't know why we would ever get any errors, but you know, just in case. Let's see. Is the bot gonna come online? There it is. 2020 left. Got that 2020 vision. So, yeah, slash commands. Slash. Oh yeah. Ooh, that sucks. So, slash commands can be deployed server-wide or guild-wide. I currently have them deployed guild-wide, which means they're actually not usable anywhere else. So, let's do something about that. Let's actually deploy them globally so we can actually use the bot, because that is sucky. Let's go off of Discord and let's actually open Opera. Let's go to Discord JS registering, blah 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 blah. It'll say slash commands and Opera again. If it ever show the new windows, which would be nice. Like that. There we go. So, guild commands is what I'm using right now. We need global commands. To deploy global commands, you use the same script and adjust the root. to application dot commands client ID. Okay, I could do that. Let's look at our code. Oh wait, was I even looking at this? Hello? I thought I was focusing on this. I don't know. I guess maybe not. Anyways, let's go back here, even if we were just here. And deploy commands right there. So we just need two application guild commands. It said we just need application commands. Application command. Well, actually, let's copy this. Comment that one out. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. So we just have both. And save, and let me run this. Node deploy commands. Successfully deployed. All right. So, thing about guild commands, as it says in the state-of-the-art guide, global commands are cached for 1 hour. New global commands will fan out slowly across all guilds and will be guaranteed to be updated after an hour. Guild commands update instantly. So, oof. I mean, we could actually just change the guild ID. But let's check if it will update on our server anytime soon. That would be nice if it did, but I don't have high hopes. Slash. Ah, darn. There, it's not there. Who would have known? I mean, I could always reload Discord and see what happens. I don't know when it would update. Would it just randomly appear at some point? Don't actually know. But what I do know is that I can grab the copy ID, stick it into guild ID and our code over here. Do a little bit of that. Gosh, this is an old server. Look at that. 5.9 instead of like 8 and everything. I think my user ID is actually a 1. So, I mean, that just tells you I joined in like early 2016, I think. But anyways, save that. Let's run this code instead. This should instantly push out the polling thing. So Discord /command. Wow, look at all that. Cool. I mean, I didn't expect it to work that nicely. So we have the bot. We have our /commands. Supposedly global, but you know, I don't know. I'm gonna undo the guild stuff so I'm not confused when it doesn't do anything later down the line. But now I'm gonna run the bot. Bot is up. And let's just do /help just in case. Boom. Wow. Here's the current Discord-wide poll ending then. Well, the bot isn't set up at the moment, so okay, that doesn't even send me anywhere. Okay. So that's just a broken link. So we need to fix the help command. Let's take a look at our help command. Discord. Go away. Help. Come back. So it thinks that there's data? If there's no server data, it should set the description to this. And then reply. But it ran as if there was server data. Server data, server ID, interaction.guild.id. Well, let's double check the database. Because obviously there shouldn't be any server data because we didn't do anything. Refresh. Nope. That's just our server. That's sukadia.dev/hub. And nothing else. So I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to figure it out. So it said list commands. So all of this came out as true or false. I'm confused. Server data, it gets the row. If there's no server data, then it should say that there's no server data. It's not set up yet. So, why might it say that there is server data? Don't know. Well, the guild ID obviously isn't the same, but it's still getting something. So I'm assuming get row has broken. Let's see, get row. Find all where this is this. If only one value is found, then sends that. Otherwise, sends that. Let's console.log data, which we were doing before. Let's do it again. See what happens. We might be getting an empty array or something. Actually, I think that's probably what's going on. You're probably getting an empty array and it's returning it as this or something. Some weird stuff like that, but let's close the bot, rerun the bot. I'm gonna open command prompt for you. There it is. I'm gonna run /help in the side. Yeah, it's an empty array. So, that's not what we need. So if it's 0, then it just should return nothing. So let me get the command prompt out of the way. No values found. That's if data exists. Well, actually, it seems like it always exists with find all. So this is actually redundant. Else redundant. And there. If data dot length equals 0, then return null. This will never get hit. And I mean, there we go. I mean, this doesn't even have to be an else. Well, actually, it should be. Then this should technically be an else if as well. Just to keep consistency a little bit, because there's no point for this being an if statement and not this being connected at all. So let's have that. Let's rerun the bot. We don't need to console log the data anymore. Save. Go to Discord. Yes, Discord. Yep, that should work. And rerun the bot. /help. Boom. Still doesn't work. Damn. That is mighty unfortunate. Oh, it's because I misspelled length. Alright. I'm not even gonna let you see that one. That does not deserve a screen switch, right? Wow, now it works. So, it looks like the server has not been set up yet. In this current state, everyone votes can't do anything. Use the /setup command to set up a poll channel and start receiving daily polls. Cool. So let's set up the poll. Welcome to the Everyone Votes poll setup, or bot setup, sorry. Setting up everyone votes is very straightforward. All the bot needs to know is where you'd like it to send polls. Would you like to send polls to this channel or a different one? If we say different channel, it will say no problem. To keep things simple, just reuse this command in the channel you would like polls to be set up in. And then at the bottom, I try to be consistent with a bolded thing. A bolded call to action, which I think maybe will help things instead of just, having it in here. So use /setup in the channel you'd like polls to be set in. So let's reuse it and press this channel. Success! Polls will now be sent to this channel as they become available. The message above is the currently active poll, which actually never even happened. And you know why? Because it errored. Let's see this error. Server data is not defined in setup 2337. So let's take a look at what's going on there. Setup 23 right here. Server data doesn't even exist. That is because we're just creating it and we're not even setting it at all. So let's not do that. Let's actually... This is why I wanted to make server data in the first place. I forgot about that. So let server data... Oops, don't full screen that. Come on. Don't want it full screened. So, who full screens applications anyways? I don't think I've ever full screened a windowed application because that's dumb. Anyways, we could create the role or row and then update it. We would actually have to do that because update row doesn't have the current row, so we'd actually need to grab it again. Let's server data equal database dot get row model name server data column name server ID find value channel.guild.id save. Then that'll be passed in here. That should resolve that error. Again, this is just like my kind of iteration of coding, which is kind of, I don't know if that's good or not, but I like writing the whole thing and then just testing it and fixing every error that pops up. Which is bad, but whatever. Let's remove select menu because we're never going to use that. In setup, at least, I don't think. And let's go back to Discord. I'm going to rerun the bot. /setup. The server is already set up to send polls in polling corner. So it did set up this data, but again, it didn't send the poll properly. So cancel. Would help actually tell us that? No, it wouldn't. It does tell us that it's ending in 19 hours though, which is cool. But we need to resend the poll. Success! Poll above is active and sending accepting votes. And big fat error in our log. Query generator. Blah 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 blah. Send poll. Send poll 158. Alright, poll handler. 158. So it looks like it error doing that? Really? Hold on. Wait, so what is the error saying? Where parameter server ID has invalid undefined value. The where parameter. Undefined value. Server ID doesn't exist. But it would have to exist to know that the poll exists. Let's check the database real quick. Let's see what's going on here. Database. What's going on? Server ID. does exist. Channel ID exists as well. Message ID doesn't. Role ID, blah, 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 blah. Supporter ID, permission. Interesting. I'm going to assume because it was an error on my part when sending the poll that we can safely remove this row, delete this record, refresh, close the bot, or actually it's already closed. And then I think, does that automatically update it? Write changes, I think. Okay, yeah, so I have to actually write the changes for it. Like, actually does the things that I'm telling it to, which kind of sucks, but, you know, that's fair. So, let's go away. Database, let's rerun the bot. Start from the beginning. /help. /help, it looks like the server is not set up. /setup. Set up the server. Success, and it errored with the same exact error. Did the same thing. Update row, send poll. Wait, so it happened in update row, actually. Oh, okay, hold on. Update values where find column, find value. What's that error? Update row. So maybe we passed in the wrong values for it? The initial thing... Oh yeah, I'm still Discord in the way. So we're looking at update row right now. And we're seeing the, you know, values gets passed in, finds the column and the find value. But it also originates from poll handler 158. Which is this. This is update row. Update row requires the model ID, the server ID thing, the actual server ID, and message ID, the values. Saying this does not exist from server data, so that means that maybe the error is originating from setup when it tries to grab it here. Oh, wait, you know what? Yeah, it is. Because we're not awaiting for it. Server data is a promise if we're not awaiting it. So, that's an easy fix. That's... It's always something simple like that. Or it's usually something simple like that. Go back to Discord. Let's do /setup again. Resend the poll. Success. Poll is active and accepting votes. There's no poll. Can I click it again? No. So, I mean, preferably we'd be able to remove these buttons as well, but why? It's saying that did send the poll, but it definitely didn't. I think that's because it tried to, but maybe it errored and now it's going to tell us that did. Yeah. So it looks like the poll was unable to send correctly in hashtag polling corner. Please enable the view channel and send messages permission for everyone votes and use the /setup command to resend the poll. So it errored, but didn't tell us that there was an error. So we need to fix that. So let's do a little bit of that. So that happens in the setup command. Set new poll. It returns the send poll. This returns a false or true. And then set up current channel. I mean, it shouldn't even get to over here. If we're setting up the current channel, it should have checked all of the channel permissions. But it seems like it did not do that whatsoever. If missing perms.length is greater than 0, then it should have sent all of this. right? But maybe it didn't do the setup current channel. Maybe it only did set new poll. So let's double check the set new polls errors. Let's run down here as well. If it returns false, then it should edit the reply saying that it failed instead of success. So somehow it went through, but it didn't do what it needed. It needs to send the poll. It should have errored while sending the poll because I don't think I have permissions for anyone else in the channel. But why did it get through to here? Because it said the poll is now above and accepting votes, so that means this must have ran. Which means this must have not have ran. So it means this set new poll returned true. Why would it ever return true if it didn't send the poll correctly? Well, poll handler, that returns false if there was an error. So might be an update row thing. I'm gonna clear the database again so we get a fresh start, so it's not like something that we have to figure out. I'm gonna rerun the bot. We're gonna try this again and see what happens, because I don't know if it's an issue with the bot itself or if it's an issue with the incorrect data that the bot generated beforehand that we already fixed. So that's why we're doing it with this new server. /setup, set up this channel. Success. Polls will now be sent to this channel as they become available. The message above is the currently active poll. Yeah, so obviously something's wrong here. Did it error? No, there was no errors in the console. So there's some sort of issue in our setup command. It gets lost in translation somehow. Like, it didn't send anything, but it definitely ran setup current channel. So as this, does this have to be an array? Maybe because this is an array that's not doing its job. I don't know why it's an array. Let's just do that real quick. I don't think this is supposed to be in an array, because I thought earlier I used has in like time loop, I think it was. Or no, it was in the message reaction thing. I don't think it should be an array, so it's checking if there was an array of channel permissions with add reactions, where I think it's just trying to check if there's a string called add reactions. So again, let's close the poll or the bot, reopen it, /setup, resend poll, success, okay. /help still says that's sent incorrectly. So let's clear the bot data again. How might I do that? Oh, right there. Okay, delete record, write changes, and I think this should actively update it. So I think because we're grabbing there's no cache, it will always grab it. So it should, not even need a restart for this. So /setup, set up this channel, and it still succeeds. Why does it do this? Why does it do this? we could take a look at the database, and we can see it is going through send polls, and it is hitting that set to 1 message ID thing. So it is erroring, but it's not properly telling us that it errored, which is mighty unfortunate because it should. Obviously, I mean, sort of commentary is that. So this returns false. Oh, wait a second. Hold up a hot second. I don't think it does return false. Or wait, no, it does. No, it does. Okay, I was mistaking it for try, because if this was in try, then it would error, and then it would never even hit return false. That's not the case here. It's still hitting it, so it should be fine. It catches the error, it updates the row to 1, and then it returns false. This gets back to the setup, where it goes into set new poll, which also returns the poll handler send poll thing. So this should also return false. And then in here, if it's false, then it should reply to the interaction and then also return false. It's a lot of return and falses, you know? And then, at the end of all that, set up current channel. Right here. If not set up current channel, then return. So it should have sent this, but it never did. It never errored either, which is the thing that really confuses me. It never errored, but it also didn't work. So, and it definitely did return false. So let's see if this ever runs. Console.log. Gosh, I never close this stuff. Such a horrible streamer. Console.log errored. Let's see if this ever runs, like at all. So I'm gonna restart the bot. I'm gonna remove the server record. Write those changes. We're gonna go to Discord. We're gonna set up the bot again. This channel. And it succeeds, and nothing even appears in the command prompt. So that entails that this set new poll never returns false. So, set new poll. Why wouldn't it do that? Well, it returns the await poll handler send poll. And poll handler send poll should be false. Promises a boolean, which is true. And it awaits that boolean. So it should either return true or false. This is returning true, apparently. So that means send poll would have to be the issue. But send poll is very obviously returning false right here. So the only thing I could see is that, I mean, it runs this, so it's confirmed that it goes through the catch. And it's confirmed that it returns false, but then in here, it returns true. Right? Like, let's variable equal await this. Let variable equal await that. Turn variable console.log variable. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Why is it returning true? Or is it returning true, and what part of the code is making it not? Delete the record, write changes, go to Discord /setup, set up this channel, success, and yeah, it did return false. So that's not the issue. The issue is something higher up. It should be like the error handling itself, it seems. So let's undo everything we just did. Just get rid of this. So this is returning false. Set new poll is being used by set up current channel. If this returns false, then it should do that. But it isn't. This should be... Oh, you know what? This is... We're not awaiting this. Oh, gosh, it's not awaiting. Set new poll is not being awaited. So, I think it's checking that this is a promise of a Boolean, apart from it actually being a Boolean. I assume I can't just await in here. Maybe I can. Await new poll? That'd be pretty cool if I could. I love JavaScript if you did that. Let's see. Would that work? Let's go to Discord again. Let's try it for the third, fourth, fifth time. Delete, write changes, /setup, boom, bang. Success. Why? Okay, well, it's a different error now, so we actually fixed it, I think. We did fix it. Let's see. So now we're getting an error that we don't know the interaction. Unknown interaction. So it seems that set new poll, channel new server, set up current channel, interaction, response interaction, new server. Interaction, response interaction, that. Interaction, response interaction, that. But it doesn't know what the response interaction is, apparently. Gosh, I always freaking forget. Go away. Looking at this, apparently it doesn't know what the response interaction is because it's erroring right here. Doesn't know. Actually, is it erroring here? Wait, why am I allowed to defer the reply, but then... Hold up. Let's look at this again. Unknown interaction. This is at... what line? Setup 69. Alright. Yeah, so it is... I mean, you can actually see it right here. It's... the dot reply. It's not the dot defer reply, it's the dot reply. Which is interesting. It also should have edited this reply with the buttons. It should have disabled the buttons. Because this is set disabled. This channel, different channel. These buttons should be disabled. It should edit that reply. Get this out of the way. It should edit that reply. And it defers this reply. So these both work, but this doesn't do anything? Because the error is here. Errors at reply. For reply. Does it have to be an edit reply? I think it might have to be. Edit reply. Let's see. No dot. I think it fully errored, so there might not be data. No, there is. Okay. Delete data, write changes. Go back to Discord, /setup, this channel. Boom. It seems as though I was denied send message permissions in a split-second time frame. That's not true. It should have just errored before then. So, what I'm seeing here is that it seems like we're not actually checking the permissions properly. Interaction.channel.permissions4, interaction.guild.me. Apparently this doesn't even check properly because it should stop here instead of doing this dump stuff. So that's annoying. How might we remedy that? Well, we have to look up how to check permissions again, I guess. Check. Yeah. Well, actually, maybe. Let's take a look together. Opera. Okay. So send me to here. How do I check if a guild member has a specific role? That's like, yeah, but I don't need that. How do I check if a guild member has a specific permission? Permission / command permissions? / commands have their own permission system, which allows you to control who has access to use which commands. Unlike / commands permission, you can fine-tune access to commands without preventing the selected user or role from using all commands. If you set default permission false when creating a command, you can immediately disable it for everyone, including guild administrators and yourself. That's pretty wacky. So user permissions. To begin, fetch an application command and then set the permissions using that string method. And what that does is it just sets a user, which is not useful. Now you've successfully denied the user who has the ID you used. Wait, you successfully denied the user whose ID you used access? Damn, alright. Why? Permissions can also be denied or allowed at a role scope. Yeah, so it doesn't actually help. Because they don't actually have permissions. They only have user and role permissions, which are specific to each server, and that's weird, and it's dumb, and it's boring, and sucks. And they were gonna push out an update, but they still haven't, so we have to deal with what we have at the moment. So, we don't actually need that. We need permission. We need to figure out how to use, like, Discord.js permissions, just in general. Roles as bot permissions. If you want to keep your bot permission checks simple, you might find it sufficient to check if the member executing the command has a specific role. Well, I mean, I don't. That's dumb. I don't need that. Setting role permissions. Man, I don't want to set role permissions. Checking member permissions. Yes. Member.permissions.has permissions.flags.kick members. Okay, I see. So member. Interaction.guild.me, I believe, is the current member. So if we go over here, we're using a string. That's probably like a past way to do it. We actually need permissions. Permissions dot flags dot view channel. We need that. And then send messages. Actually, let's just copy this part, paste that there, remove that final quote. Boom, boom, save. That might work, maybe. Let's test it out by, once again, clearing our data and writing the changes. Going to Discord, going to /setup, this channel, and yeah, it still doesn't do it. God damn it. Well, that's unfortunate. I will probably figure this out eventually, but I think I will pack up for now. It's getting a little bit late. I have to wake up at 8 tomorrow to work, so I won't be streaming tomorrow. I don't think. I probably won't be. I don't usually stream when I work. But yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, or morning. I hope the second stream was interesting. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. And I appreciate you for stopping by, checking out the bot, and maybe looking at the cool new logo that I don't think anyone else has seen. No one's seen it. It's also a work in progress, but, you know, keep it on the lowdown. If you watch these streams, you get insider insights, you know? So, yeah, appreciate you for stopping by.